Hey y'all, it's Ivy Jo again, and I'm here to talk about chapters 3 and 4 of Lucas's text. And I found chapter 4 very, very interesting and very informative. Chapter 3 was about listening versus hearing, and hearing is a physical aspect of taking in information. So that's just vibrations of sound going through your ears. And listening is actually paying attention to what you hear. There's 4 types of listening: appreciative, empathetic, comprehensive, and critical. Appreciative listening is just listening for pleasure, so like music or a podcast or anything of that sort. Empathetic listening is listening to provide emotional support. So when I think of empathetic listening, I think of listening to my best friends when they've had a rough day or going through a breakup. Just being there and hearing and listening to their issues, what they have going on, to be a better friend and a better person to support them. Comprehensive listening is listening to understand. So I listen to understand a lot in class. I comprehensive listen when I'm at work or paying attention to any information given to me so I can understand it in my brain and get it out. And critical listening is listening to evaluate a message. So also when I'm in class, I critical listen to my professor to gain what he's talking. Or when I'm at church, I critically listen to the preacher to obtain or evaluate his message and apply that to my life. Poor listening skills. I'm so bad at poor listening sometimes because I do this one thing, and that is jump to conclusions. I'm a legal studies major, so I cannot stand when people blame me or when they try to insinuate that I'm wrong. So I jump to conclusions so bad. I'm like, so you're saying, I just jump to conclusion, and that's not me listening. That's just me hearing what they're saying. To be a better listener, I can be more active and I can resist distractions. I know when I'm listening to a lot of people, I always get on my cellular device and I just kind of scroll. When my phone vibrates, I pick it up to see who it is. So I just need to cut that out of my life and just be a better listener overall. Chapter 4 was about giving a speech, and I regret it so much that I didn't read chapter 4 before I gave my first speech for this class. So there's 3 main parts of giving a good speech. First would be your introduction. That's when you capture your audience, interest them to actually let them like listening to what you're saying to begin with. Your second one is the meat of your speech, so it's the body. That's when you give out your critical points of what you're talking about as a whole. You always select an effective method of organization. So if I'm giving a speech about baking a pie, I just don't want to skip to throwing the pie in the oven when I could just talk about what do I use to bake or what ingredients I need. So be very effective and intentional about how you list things in your speech. And last will be your conclusion. This is when you reinforce your central message to your audience to make sure they finally get that last grasp of what you're talking about. So I really enjoyed these 2 lessons, and I look forward to giving more speeches and more introduction paragraphs and bodies and conclusions that I can give to be more effective in speech giving and being a better listener.